Hello. So I have been playing around with VimTeX and all the other stuff and the live preview stuff, and I found a way to actually deal with it pretty succinctly without having to worry about much. Like I said, I decided to wipe Neovim completely, and then I just made my own Neovim configuration from scratch. And, I've been playing around with the init.config and all that, and, well, I happen to have figured out how to deal with VimTeX properly, and like I said, I was having issues with .cls, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the last video, but yeah, so .cls is actually a class file that is pertaining to what kind of format you can use for document class. So it imports .cls files, and LaTeX actually has a bunch of pre-built CLS files, and article is one of them. So this is article.cls. You don't have to add the .cls file because it's already looking for that file extension within its path directory. So so I happen to have fixed that properly, and that was just me not understanding LaTeX as much as I'd like to, but here it is. This is a simple hello world, and I was just screwing around with that. And so you can write any kind of text here. I don't really understand. Maybe I can do like P is equal to M times V, money sign. That just tells us that the money sign is just tells the LaTeX file that it is an equation with equal sign, and I think this is probably the right way to do it, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so I've been playing around with this, and I figured out how to properly So I have my proper preview, which is through, like I said before, it has this nvim keybinds here, which is nice, and this is why I use it, like hitting Q to exit out immediately. And this is just like the minor configuration that I've made, and I happen to have actually installed this plugin manually, so that's why I have this up here. Is vim.command is in packed VimTeX, which is the plugin that I'm using. And actually all you have to do, it's very simple. If you're not using a plugin manager, all you have to do is do a git clone to a particular directory, and it's whatever plugin name. This is the actual plugin name that I gave it myself from the git clone command. But you have to make sure it's in the right directory. It happens to be in, if I remember correctly, maybe I should add that. Yeah, I'm going to add that here. If I remember correctly, it's actually at home. Oops, I can't type apparently. It's .local /nvim I believe there's a local share /nvim /packad or something. It's a really long or pack. It's really long actually. It's pack and then like start or something. Maybe there's an extension past that, or maybe there's another directory past that, but I don't remember. But yeah, it happens to be a pretty long path, so I have to. I'm thinking about actually just making my own minimal plugin manager, just very minimal. I don't like any of the other plugin managers, so I just rather make my own. I don't like, well, I liked Packer, but Packer is not maintained anymore. I think it was discontinued back in August 2023, so they don't maintain it. So I'm thinking about just making my own and then just maintaining it myself. And yeah, so that's what my plan is for the time being, and I'm hoping that I'm going to have a very minimal plugin manager. I haven't decided about what features I want, but the first feature I would like is probably an auto refresh of some sort, so I can update it every once in a while. Well, actually, I'm not sure. I may not have an auto refresh unless I know I need it, or maybe I'll make that an option that I can do. But I actually don't want an auto refresh. I'd probably just have like a standard. I'm not even sure if I would want an update, honestly. For VimTeX, maybe I should have an update, but yeah, I'm not sure. But my standard thing is I'm probably just going to have a command that I can just input a plugin name into a function, and this function will take that plugin name and create a plugin within that particular file directory, which is .local. Yeah, that directory that I was talking about. So I'm going to have something like that, and of course it would actually have to implement the vim.command function as well. So cmd, it would have to implement that. I don't know how to do that under the hood, but I guess you would probably have to use Lua for this, the vim command, and then it's what pack add a plugin name, right? So I have to figure that out, how I'm going to do that. And yeah, so that plugin, so all you have to do is basically add that plugin to the init. I think I've seen the structure of most of them. I think they typically have the function name and then all of, like a list with use. I don't know what use is, so I have to understand what that is. I think use is, I'm not 100% sure what use is, so that's another thing is like, I need to figure out is like, what is use? So that's something I'm trying to figure out. And yeah, so pack add plugin name, and this is how I'm hoping to build it due to my minimal understanding of Lua. I mean, I've been studying it a bit, but I don't really understand how I'd be able to do this, or just it's not really clicking in my head right now. So yeah, so I mean, I'm assuming that I can probably call, I mean, I'm sure Lua has some kind of sys library. Sys has an SYS where I can like just do with files, file system structures and whatnot. So I can do that, like, kind of like Python. I'd rather use Python, but they use Lua, so I had to make my own function for that. And well, that function is going to be a require most likely. So I had to like just write my own function for that, and I don't know how to. Another thing is like I would have to tie a macro to a command which ties to that function. So I had to figure out how to do that, which I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but hopefully I can figure that out pretty soon. Yeah, so did I ever show? Yeah, so hopefully I do \ll. I guess I have to save it first, \ll. Compiler stopped. And there it is. It's kind of hard to see, but you can scroll in, and it's p times mv in standard equation format, which is cool. Now that I want to play around with this, so if I did something like that, and I quit, and I do \ll again, \ll. Let's see. Okay, so that's very simple. It's a very simple equation, but you know, I don't really know much about latex, but it works. It works. I just want to mess around with simple functionalities. You know, it works good enough for me at least, because if I were writing lecture notes, then maybe I would want to like preview that automatically refreshes as I'm writing it, but that means it would have to be in a while loop with the \ll command, and I would have to figure out how to do that, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that yet. Yeah, so I think my next course of action would be understanding how to write my own functions in Lua, and then writing my own functions and being able to tie those into a macro that calls those functions. So I want to call Lua functions from the command center of Vim. It has like its little, you know, I could probably like write a macro of some sorts, and that macro is going to be tied to that, but I forgot how to do that. And yeah, so that's like my progress for that for the time being. But yeah, again, like this motivation that I had for this is because I like writing notes, and I like Vim, and I also like reading, and I like writing notes when it comes to reading and whatnot, so I don't forget it. So yeah, this works just fine for my kind of workflow that I like for the time being. And you know, if I decide to, you know, I mean, maybe I don't need anything complicated. I'm not even sure if I want to make my own plugin manager. That depends on like how often they change Neovim, of course, and how often they're changing latex to then, not latex, but VimTeX to kind of still be compatible with the latest version of Neovim. So yeah, because then that means I would have to like constantly look for updates and whatnot, and I think these technologies are pretty fast. They tend to move pretty quickly. So that means I probably would have to find a way to do like a way to, like this plugin. I'd have to find a way to update constantly, which is actually just git git pull, and then like the HTTPS, you know, or /s. Whoops. Yeah. So. Git clone or github.com / or user / or something. Anyways, yeah, so I have a lot to do. And now I'm actually working in a more of a project-oriented mindset, so it seems a little more interesting. I'm learning things that I want to learn. It actually makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's all we really have to talk about. I'm not sure if I'm going to post this on YouTube, but yeah, this is kind of fun, and I don't think I showed anything that was sensitive, but yeah, I mean, this is very simple, and yeah, I don't know. I like simple. I don't know why people like having very complicated IDs. I don't like. Anyways, that's just a preference of mine. So yeah, that's all I have to say for this. I know this was like not really the most verbose or concise explanation of what I was talking about. This is only for my own benefit, though, and I want to show myself that I'm making some kind of progress in some direction when it comes to either technology or physics, and this is a good way to improve, is by giving myself updates as a reminder that I'm doing something somewhat important to me, at least. Yeah. Yep. So I don't really know what else to say. Oh, that made this an MD. I'm also going to find a. I think Zathura doesn't like preview MD, so I have to find a preview for MD, and then maybe I can use that with other. I can use that with other file extensions. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep it as is, honestly. But then I would have to find a different plugin for that. So yeah, just a lot to think about. So anyways, I think I'm done. Bye.